Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Huffman Racing Radio, episode 20-something. 24. Kobe Bryant.
Jeff Gordon.
And Jeff Gordon, that is true. I'm your host, Landon Huffman, per normal. Sitting beside me is my co-host, Seth Brotherton. Seth, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. How you doing?
Well, I've been better. Sitting to his right is also our co-host and a bi-monthly attendant, RJ Williams. How we doing?
Decent.
That's better than...
Nothing to bitch about today?
Yeah.
Oh, I've always got something to bitch about.
We'll get into that. Oh, my gosh. Well, this entire episode, I guess, is going to be surrounding the events of this past weekend, for the most part, and that is the Valleystar Credit Union 300 at Martinsville Speedway. My lack thereof of winning a clock came up one spot short.
Half a car,
yep, short. It was a hell of a race. We're going to talk about that. I'll give you my initial reactions. We're going to get these two bozos' reactions and talk about a few things that happened throughout the weekend. Not just the feature race, but some stuff that went down during the heat races, some controversies after the race, and I guess really all things Valleystar Credit Union 300. We're also going to give you guys an update on what we're doing this weekend, which, Seth, you and RJ did not go with me to Martinsville.
Well, hell no.
Why would we?
But did you watch the whole race?
Absolutely. I missed the start.
How many beers did we drink?
None.
You didn't drink while watching it? Man, I'm surprised.
I didn't watch the heat races, so...
You didn't even watch the heat races?
No, I took a nap.
It was a really long
I watched
7 hours.
I watched every lap of the heat races, and I went and did something and completely forgot that 5 o'clock was start time, and so I started the main about, I don't know, 40
Were you getting your
laps
corn
in.
feed ready?
Huh?
Were you getting your corn feed ready?
No.
Your boots washed?
Y'all gonna find RJ strung up like a damn deer if he don't shut the hell up.
Getting your corn feed ready. Is that legal to bait the deer?
In North Carolina. In certain areas of North Carolina, yes.
How about where your hunting land is?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The only
Hell,
place,
it's his hunting
well,
land. He can
okay.
hunt however the hell he wants.
No,
Well, he
that's not
leases
true.
it.
There's laws,
Yeah,
RJ.
Oh, God.
Probably some that you should get accustomed to, but
Like what?
RJ doesn't hunt, so it doesn't matter.
no, I'm saying just in general, any laws that RJ decides not to follow.
No, that's a lot.
Oh, my God.
No, there's
Oh, gee, get over it. Get over it.
there's places that you can't bait because of diseases and shit, but that's not. No.
That's neither here nor there. It really doesn't matter. But yeah, that's what we're going to talk about on this episode of Huffman Racing Radio. No special segment this week.
You know what National Day it is?
I don't, because
You didn't
He
look?
didn't look.
I didn't give a shit.
It is National
wow.
Johnny Appleseed Day.
That's
Okay.
a dumb one too.
So what's that mean?
You know, we ain't had any good ones here lately.
I mean, I don't know that you can say that's dumb.
What's
you
the
All
song?
the kids dress up like Johnny Appleseed and go to school.
What's the Johnny Appleseed song? Isn't there a
I
song?
don't know. Yeah, probably.
There's a song. I can't exactly
I
remember.
don't know. I couldn't find anything apple to drink for celebration, so I have peach.
I think that's a lot. Don't you not make that an apple?
Not anymore.
Yeah, you can't find it.
Could you
Yeah.
not get a Reds?
You can get a skunked one for probably a pretty high price.
I would honestly probably drink the hell out of a Busch Light apple skunked one right now.
Yeah, I haven't had an apple in a while, but that was a winter thing. The peach came out in the summer, so I don't know. They might surprise us and bring it back out.
They might come out with pumpkin spice.
I wouldn't drink it.
For the fall.
That's not smart.
Pumpkin spice beer.
No, well, there's a lot of that out there. It's craft
I know.
beer.
What?
Well, you,
It's
Oh.
Landon
Craft
beer.
It's beer.
You won't.
It
You
all
don't drink
tastes
it
the
no way,
same.
RJ.
It all
It
tastes
does
the
not
same.
all taste the same.
It
No,
does.
it
It
does
does
not.
not.
It does. Disgusting is how it tastes.
Thank you guys for tuning in, and we're going to go ahead and hop right into this episode. Like I mentioned just a second ago, this past weekend was the 2023 Valleystar Credit Union 300 at Martinsville Speedway. It's the biggest late model stock race of the season on the NASCAR side, and I guess technically it is the richest late model stock race of the year, period. $32,000 to win, $5,000 to set on the pole, and I missed out on both of those by literally a half
One
a car.
spot.
Yep. And I think it was like $25 to lead a lap. I led about 5 or 6.
Well,
Good.
at the right time.
Yeah, but I'm saying $25 to lead each lap, which is pretty cool. I think it was $1,000 a halfway.
That accumulates like every lap you lead.
Yeah, so if you lead 100 laps, $2,500.
So you made enough for fuel back home.
Yeah.
Probably not even.
Yeah, they're $125.
Their shop's not that far from Martinsville.
No, they're local.
Well, I mean, he lives in North Carolina, though.
Yeah.
That is true. Shit.
It's only an hour. It's only an hour and 50-minute drive. It really wasn't bad.
I love to drive to Martinsville.
Yeah, it's actually
It's a very
super
good,
easy drive.
Yeah, I love it.
Weather was nice on Sunday. Pretty cool out, but it did rain it out on Saturday night. That's why we were back on Sunday.
So did you hang out there Saturday, or did you come back home?
No, I drove home Saturday morning. I wasn't going to stay up there all day. Not when it's an hour and 50. So just to brief you guys, I guess, on the weekend, we qualified outside pole out of 85 cars. So really, really good effort. We were solid in practice all day. And this year and last year is the new format where in the past, top 20 on qualifying speed were locked into the show. Now everyone has to heat race. So nobody's locked in. Even though we qualified on the front row, we still had to run a heat race, which took place on Sunday. 25-lap heat. We jumped out front and led a good bit of it. And then the cautions kept coming out.
Damn near, yeah.
They were wrecking for last every freaking lap. Like literally 6 or 7 laps in a row, restarts in a row, they wrecked for last. And one of the restarts, me and Doug were side by side, and he beat me to the line by literally a nose, maybe. And I was already working back by him. I was going to get back by him. And it reverts back to the previous lap, so it gave Doug the lead, and I had to restart on the top with like 3 to go. So that's why we finished second in the heat. But that ended up starting us 6th in the feature. So we literally lost 3 whole rows because of that. And really, honestly, in the feature, I was probably a 5th place car, I would say, at least for the majority of the race.
That's where you hung around.
Yeah, I mean, I ran 3rd most of the second half of the race.
Mm-hmm.
And then Bobby blew up right behind me, but Bobby was a little bit better than us at that time. He was running us down right before he blew up.
Well, they always run the best for they
grenade. That's right, and he grenaded. Marcus Richmond told Dad they had an oil pan malfunction. Dad said, "What's that?" He said, "It blew everything out the oil pan."
Oh, they wasn't holding in no more.
I hated to see that happen to him, but at the same time, it was almost kind of refreshing because Flo would not get off his nuts.
Off of Bobby's?
All weekend long. All they talked about was Bobby. Like, yeah, he was the fastest thing there. I get it. But, damn, there's 85 other people here.
Yeah,
why do we keep hearing about Bobby?
This was his 10th try at the 300. So,
I mean, seems like a cool guy. I'd definitely drink beer with him. But
he ain't won it.
Bobby is a great guy to drink beer with.
He ain't won it.
Flo was just, like, slobbing that thing all weekend.
Well, Flo kind of struggled. They weren't getting the mid-pack, the back-end races.
But that's not important.
It is. It's good racing.
No, they but yeah, Bobby was probably the class of the field. But then when we fired back off after the halfway, his car just didn't seem to fire off great.
No.
And my car was better. We made some changes, but the track in general just continued to get tighter. Like this place.
Was that anticipated?
Yes, but so I remember this from my national races when I ran the truck at Bristol, Martinsville, and rubber would lay down on the track, and not like rubber at Hickory or rubber at South Boston or rubber you would typically think of at a late model race where the track just gets black. This rubber would get black on the concrete, but then it would literally chunk in the groove. So you would have rubber that's like an inch high in the groove, and you could see it.
So it's just basically just sitting on top of the racetrack rather than digging into the racetrack.
Well, it does lay into the concrete, but it just starts accumulating.
So only so much.
Plus, you have 40 cars on the racetrack running around, and
well, I mean, the Cup Series has dealt with that there too.
it's the same thing. That's why they start running in the middle and the top, stuff like that at Martinsville. But that was literally happening for us. The problem was you just really couldn't move around. But I think that was what was making everyone tight. Everybody fought the same stuff. I think the 77 car was just turning better than everyone all day. And then as the track continued to tighten up,
he still turned better.
His car was better. Yeah. He was still maybe fighting some of the similar stuff, but
not as bad.
His car was just better. But yeah, we ended up putting ourselves in position there at the end of the race, restart with 7 laps to go and restarted 3rd. Got into Trevor just a little bit, entry to 1. They kind of screwed up on the start and wheel hopped each other, which allowed me to be close to him on entry. And Trevor kind of protected his entry a little, so I got into him a tick. He slid up into Peyton. I made a 3-wide pass for the lead. And we got out front. Really,
how dare you?
I knew that this is what sucked. I knew that my car was good for 3 or 4 laps on a restart, and then it would start backpedaling. I got out front, and I started gapping him. I'm like, man, I needed Carson to race the 77 at least a lap. Like, if Carson could have got under him and made him work a little bit, but instead he cleared off 2 right behind me. So he was able to run me back down with, I think, 3 or 4 to go, and then we had a hell of a battle for the win, side by side, all the way to the line, and he beat me by a half car. I want to know what you guys think, first of all, of the finish, or because I've been catching some shit from.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
The
last
people.
2 laps, I was cussing you out.
Because I didn't move him out of the way?
I was cussing you out because you stayed on the top, and I'm like, damn it, dude, like, he raced you good.
Yeah,
he could have door slammed the shit out of you. He didn't do it.
You both
I'm
raced
not going to sit here and
respectfully.
say that you should have ran over him, but I feel like anybody else in that field in that position is going to let him clear off 2, ship him into 3, and win the race.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he better be glad that you were the one up there racing him.
Absolutely, or he wouldn't have a grandfather clock.
Yeah. I think just.
I mean, I was
and
proud.
a car one piece.
I was proud of you. It's cool to watch you run freaking battle for the win like that. The biggest damn late model race of the year.
Still should have won it.
I mean, I was proud of you, but at the time I was pissed that you didn't do what it took to get the damn clock when I knew that there was at least 30 other people in the field that would have just said, you know what, be a good guy or a clock. But
right, but also
hindsight, you did the right thing.
Long-term benefit, I mean, I'm just telling you right now, and I've said this before, if I clear him behind him, and you know how finicky late model stock cars are, it's not like a cup car where they got this big-ass back end and they're all locked down to the ground where you run into them and it just shoves them up the racetrack. That is not how these...
You probably would have jumped the shit.
That's not how these race cars work. I can't anticipate how far he's going to drive into the corner.
Yep.
If he backs his entry up and I try to cross over and run into him and he's backing his entry
You're
up...
both spinning out.
And I'm picking his ass off the ground...
I'm not going to lie. Right after the race ended, I texted Gutman. I said, would Rob have finished second in that race? No. He said no, he would have either won or they'd have both been on the record.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, for those that don't know Rob, that's just a little taste.
Yeah. Which Dad never once told me to move him. I mean, you can watch my race day vlog. It should be out by now, the time this is going out on my YouTube channel. But I've got all my onboard audio on there. And you can hear exactly what I was hearing in those closing moments of the race.
Were you able to obtain it all?
Yeah.
You should do like you do on the Huffman Racing channel. Just take the race and the onboard. There you go.
God, what a
have at it.
Yeah, I mean, it's already. I kind of do that already with the vlog, so it's hard to. I really don't want to sit there and edit 2.5 hours with the audio.
I'm not going to sit there and watch 2.5 hours of it.
Well,
yeah, I mean, another thing, they wouldn't let us put GoPros in the car. Yeah, so couldn't run any GoPros this week, so the vlog is strictly just from the grandstand, which is still fine because you can see everything.
They're in a bad spot at Martinsville. Other than I remember one time I went to Martinsville for a cup race, and we sat right at the fence. I mean, 3 rows up. This is before they had those metal bleachers there on the front stretch. I could have sworn my ears rung for a good year after that race.
Yeah. I would say Martinsville, very similar to Bristol in the fact that there's really not a bad place to sit in the grandstands. But, man, I've thought about the race. I've ran it 100 times with my head back now. And there's a number of things I could have done, but ultimately, I said it in my interview with Flo, I felt like I got into Trevor a little bit on that restart and knocked him into Peyton, and that's how I got the lead. So for him to catch me and not just knock me out of the way, I felt like was a fair. I mean, he did run into me off of 4 and stuff me in the wall, and we kind of fishtailed, but we was just racing. I mean, that was just like a lack of real estate, racing for win. I don't think that was intentional whatsoever. I think he was just racing me up front, battling for $32,000.
Trying to use all the racetrack he could.
Yeah, and I just didn't feel like it warranted that type of finish. I felt like here's another thing. Everyone's
don't be yelling at me.
Yeah,
I'm not yelling.
I said
on your
nothing,
team, brother.
I'm not yelling.
Well, I'm on Team Landon in some cases.
I'm saying everyone thinks that the top is shit. But it was very hard to pass. Like, if you were passing someone, if you didn't touch them, it took you 4 or 5 laps to get around them. And
you
so
and Doug kind of showed that in a heat race.
So
y'all raced like hell there for a while, side by side.
yeah. So in that moment at the end of the race, I was beating him off the corner. Like I led every single lap except for the last one, maybe one in between. But coming to the white, I led the white.
Because you're working on getting the run off the corner.
I was beating him on exit every single time. So I felt like if I could stay there and he didn't run me in the wall, or if I could at least be wheel to wheel, I was going to outmotor him to the line. Also, I know that how sketchy it is on the bottom when someone's laying on your door. That's what happened to me in the heat race too. Doug laying on my door, I got loose. So it would only took one mistake on Trevor's end for me to clear him racing like that.
So I mean, you're racing. You're trying to get a mistake out of him. You're trying to drive your car as fast as possible using the race that you have available to yourself. I mean, who can be disappointed or have anything negative to say about that restart on at all?
Also, someone told me this, and me and Dad were talking about it. There was no wrecks up front.
No, not in the top 15.
Do you want to know
probably.
why? Well, I want to ask you guys why you think there was no wrecks up front. Think about who was racing up there.
I mean,
right? They know what they're doing.
None of them are rent-a-rides.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
They're either in their own equipment or
have to fix
they're
their
seasoned
own-
veterans.
work on their own stuff. Yeah. Except for me.
Well, that's
but
my-
I'm not
well,
I'm not
you don't
renting
either.
that.
My thing is
I'm
you
still
have
not rent a ride. But
no, you have to work on your own shit enough that you're not going to go tear somebody else's up because
right.
you know how bad.
Well,
it
I never
sucks.
have. Yeah, I mean, never want to tear up race cars. But
So, I mean, that goes into your thought process too on that last lap. Like, you also don't want to destroy your car trying to win the
$100,000
race.
car. Yeah.
Yeah, because you know.
But there's a reason why the front part of the field was such a good race. It's because, and honestly, that's why, for the most part, the Cars Tour has been good up front, and the races up front have been good. It's because most of those cars are not really rent-a-ride cars.
Yeah.
I mean, Bassett's up there running, Queen.
Bassett, Quapple, Quapple's not a rent-a-ride. You got Bassett. Brendan Queen's raced his own equipment for a long time. Yeah, he's in Pulliam stuff, but he understands what it takes to race your own stuff. He has his whole life. You've got Peyton Sellers racing his own race car. You've got Trevor Ward in his own race car. Myself, who I've worked on my own race cars for forever. Doug Barnes is in his own race car. I mean, all these people they're not just going somewhere and writing a paycheck and
strapping in
and holding the steering wheel. Yeah, so I think that's something to consider, especially moving forward with late model stock racing. If we can get more of those personalities and people up front consistently that do have that respect, then the races will always be good. I mean, the big races this year honestly has been a good year for late model stock racing in general. Really hasn't been any shit endings.
Other than some controversies.
Well, there's been controversies, but
We're past that.
That's all at a local level, really.
But it's been good at the local level too.
Yeah, it's not been bad. You're right. Another thing I wanted to talk about. That's enough talking about me losing. I finished second, guys.
Yeah, you need to get over it.
Yeah,
I know. It's gonna hurt for a while.
How many days has it been? Like
That does
Shut
not
the
matter.
hell up.
Doesn't
Move on. Move on.
I'm getting tired of
You
seeing the
finished
crying
second at
emojis.
Martinsville, and you're getting a hell of a lot of praise for it. So
Yeah, but I still, it would have been nice to have grandfather
if
clock.
it makes you feel better, guy came up to Dad at work and told him that you gained a hell of a lot more fans and respect by doing what you did, opposed to
running them over.
Yeah.
I agree. And I said this in my Flow interview. I'll say it again here if you guys listen and didn't hear it, but I said that there's not a single racer that would have come up to me, like a real racer, come up to me and congratulated me for winning if I would have ran him over. Because it just isn't the same.
No.
All right, put that in the rear view. Let's talk about...
And it just shows that your racing ain't about content strictly.
RJ, the rear view is what's behind you.
Let's talk about what the hell went down in the heat race.
God,
in
them
the
heat
pits.
races. I hate that shit so bad.
So, for one, the heat races kind of suck because the midfield just runs over everybody for the transfer constantly.
Yeah, I mean, that's all it sets up, is if you're the guy in 10th, you're screwed.
Yeah, you're going to get punted.
You're screwed as long as somebody can get to you.
Yeah, your butthole is super tight. Every part of that racetrack is waiting for something to happen. Hell yeah!
Oh, God.
At least it's not loose.
So you're clenching it.
God.
Yeah.
Clenched.
I actually tweeted about that.
What'd you
I totally
say?
understand.
About
I totally understand the guys in 9th and 10th position racing the hell out of each other because nobody wants to be 10th. The guys that's running 4th and 5th in the damn heat race, racing the absolute dog shit at each other and end up wrecking both of their cars. Or, for instance, when Magnum ran over Connor, I think Connor came down a little bit and Magnum was there, and it was just an unfortunate deal. But why are we doing that? You're locked in the feature. Who gives a shit if you start 10th or 16th? It's 200-lap race. You could be wrecked at any given moment during that race.
I have a comment on that because everybody feels like when they're there, they have something to prove. That's why they race like that. They think that they are the best, and nobody's going to pass them. And then when you weed those people out, you get what you got up front.
This is kind of off topic, but you watch that race, and you see so many damn late model cars that you've never seen before.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, think about it. We went to Florence, we run Hickory, you run the Tour, you see stuff from other tracks, and there were so many cars that I've literally never seen a picture of, never heard of. Like, where do they come from?
Well, a lot of people were, like, there was Riley Neal and Chase Robertson from the stadium.
Right, yeah. I mean, but you know those names if you...
Then you had...
I don't follow the stadium, but I know the names.
There was... Yeah, you're right. I mean, there was some cars. Steve Zacharias, promoter at
when I
Florence.
saw it, I kind of second-guessed because I didn't realize he drove, but then I was like, well, it makes sense.
I think he got turned around in his heat race.
There was some guy, it was a 88 car, purple and black with
Brad
green
House,
numbers.
right?
Yes. They said he was from Hickory. I've never heard of him.
I think he races at Kingsport or has raced at Kingsport. He might be from Hickory but lives there. I don't know. Yeah. I've seen his car before only because I've seen him make some YouTube posts or something about Kingsport. But there was a fight in the pits. That's what Seth's talking about. One of the heat races, like he mentioned, Mag Tate he got a run on a restart, tried to go below Connor Hall. Connor Hall blocked him down to like the low lane close to a wall, and Mag Tate wheel hopped him, jumped up on top of him. Well, I guess it pissed him off, rightfully, I guess. And when it come down, he just took a right and wrecked Connor and about 3 other cars with him. And so in the pits, Mag Tate stopped, and one of Chad Bryant crew members came over and started like trying to strangle him and beat the shit out of him in his car. And so they started fighting back and forth, and I was right there beside it because I just pulled in from the heat, and I was in the back because I actually ran another extra lap, or I missed the entrance, so I was coming all the way back around.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Well, I didn't run like a full speed lap. I just missed. I didn't realize they were wanting us to turn in.
You don't pay attention.
Right off the rip.
There was a lot going on.
Yeah. I mean, we were side by side racing for the win. And so their fists are throwing. I mean, there's tons of views to watch it, but one of them got popped in the nose real hard, and then the other one got choked out. I mean,
shirts were ripped.
Yeah.
Headlocks everywhere. People tackling. There's some dude comes in from like 3 rows back over top of everybody.
Which it was Chad Bryant's team, but I'm convinced, which was Connor Hall, who was the one that got wrecked. So I mean, rightfully they were pissed off that their car got tore up. But I'm convinced that bunch just enjoys fighting.
I think so.
I think that they love that. That's their...
Well, they got a lot of TV time for it.
But still, I mean...
And Matt Dillner is right in the middle of it.
With his
camera out,
listen,
just dancing around it.
If you're going to fight like that, fight, whatever. The main issue, and you said it earlier, was what?
They're fighting on top of somebody else's race car that is about to go out for his heat race.
Destroy the point.
What they should have done was tell both of those teams, get your shit, get out of here. We got 84 other cars. You just lost your spots.
We got 2 people that can replace you.
I mean, if they're fighting over somewhere else by the hot dog stand, okay, break it up, let them go on. But you're fighting on top of somebody else's race car, tearing the hell out of their car for no reason, nah, kick them out.
So you guys know that there was a race car. Well, this fight happened where we pull in off the track, but there's also the next heat race staged there, ready to go. So they were fighting right beside cars that were staged to go out.
Oh, homeboy is fired up, ready to go.
Yeah, and they slung a guy over on top of a car that was about to go onto the track. And
multiple guys ended up on the hood and right front fender of that car.
Tore the right front fender up, the nose, the hood, bent it all down. I mean, these guys are just innocent bystanders. So, rightfully, I feel
I don't know. Well, I don't even know who the hell was who in that fight. But I'm surprised those guys didn't get in on the fight because...
They didn't. I'll give it to them. They didn't even jump in.
I mean, I can't say... If that would have been us, I can't say that would have been the same outcome.
No,
I feel
we
like
would have
we'd
probably
have been so
right
damn
in the middle
mad.
of
We'd
it.
have... I mean...
Yeah. Yeah, they didn't fight. They let it... They just started fixing their shit after they pulled them off of it. So
I'll
give it to those
roll
guys.
Out. They ain't got no time.
Yeah, I'll give it to those guys. They kept their composure. I wanted to address this because this happened on social media yesterday, which, well, it happened because of me. But if you listen to Door Bumper Clear...
Yeah, you just had to start some shit.
Well, it was rightfully... I was called an idiot. Okay, so if you listen to Door Bumper Clear...
As if that's new.
I've called
listen.
worse.
If you listen to Door Bumper Clear, you know TJ Majors, Brett, and Freddie Kraft, that's their show on Dirty Mo. And they have a segment every week where they have a What an Idiot segment. Well, Freddie's What an Idiot segment was the people fighting. TJ, which I am friends with TJ, and I raced with him a good bit, and he raced against my dad for a little while in the Dash Series. Obviously, TJ is a decorated spotter, and I have a lot of respect for TJ. He gets on there, and his What an Idiot is me for not moving the 77. And that just struck a chord with me because I felt like he was calling me an idiot for not racing rough. And here's what really struck a chord with me, though. And this is why I tweeted what I did. Mere seconds before he said that, he was complaining about how the races like Martinsville have no respect and that people don't race with respect and that it's just a travesty because there's no respect in the sport anymore. And then he said, oh, by the way, the respectful ending was bullshit.
Yeah.
Landon should have won because he should have punted him over. I'm like, that pissed me off so bad. So that's why I tweeted what I did. And me and TJ talked, and he says he didn't mean it that way. And he probably didn't. And
Well, how did he mean it?
I mean, I don't think he meant it that way.
he said that he wanted me to win, and that he was just saying that he was saying that lightheartedly because he wanted me to win. But I just told him I don't call people idiots in front of hundreds of thousands of listeners.
Yeah.
Based off of something
A finish that was pretty respectful.
Yeah.
Very, not pretty.
I guess he should have said, I think he's an idiot because I wanted him to win.
So I think that his delivery was not the best. But me and him were all good. I mean, I wasn't really mad other than the fact that I was going to call his ass out for it if he was going to sit there and do that to me in front of all those people. So I was going to give him some hell back. And if you're going to dish it, you got to take it.
Let us know if you're Team TJ or Team Landon in the comments.
Well, while we're talking about shit that makes us mad, this didn't really make me mad, but it kind of irritated me. Rough and Fenders podcast, ever heard of it?
No.
Okay, they put on Facebook, Mr. Corporate, Landon Huffman,
Oh, my God.
battles it out with Mr. Blue Collar, Trevor Ward, for the checkered
Jesus.
flag and the grandfather clock. Congratulations on Trevor Ward for picking up such a prestigious victory. Now, that comes from what Trevor said about the blue collar guy can still get it done. It struck me wrong because there is nothing about you corporate. And I think what they meant was Trevor running for himself, small team, you're running for Nelson's big team. But to me, like,
That's
I've been down here in the trenches with you for freaking 12 years now. I know how blue collar you race, so that just kind of struck a nerve with me.
I never seen that. I'm going to know.
Wow.
They're in Maine.
Well, okay.
So I
Well,
don't
so
know
that
nothing
tells
about
me
it.
that
Yeah, they're not even in the
so
area.
they don't even know who they're talking about. I mean, so
They're just
either
trying
way,
to latch
listen,
onto the
yeah.
news.
That's neither here nor there. That is
Hard.
bullshit. If you listen to me at all or have kept up with me at all over the last 15 years, you would know that that's a total crock of crap. But either way, I mean, Trevor is a blue collar racer, but that's also why I appreciate and raced him like I did, because I know that he works on his own stuff, and that was a huge win for them too. I mean, if I'm racing outside of him, or if I'm racing inside of him and I get raced like that, like I raced him, I would be very, very thankful and appreciative of that. And I know I would be pissed if someone dropped in behind me and laid the wood to me, because I'd be wanting to fight afterwards too.
Stole it.
Yeah, but either way, me and TJ are all good, and it's getting a lot of attention because Freddie and them are
Egging it on.
feeding the fire. Which I think anytime TJ gets himself in a shitstorm, they love to just beef it up and throw the pressure on him. But y'all take it easy on TJ, man. He doesn't deserve all the hate. He fumbled on his words.
Well, I'm Team TJ.
You're just saying that so you can go against me, RJ.
Well, that's what you purposefully get on my nerves.
What's not hard?
You really ain't hard to fire up.
I know. Well,
I can tell you, hey, RJ, and you'd be like,
however,
purpose.
the other day, you did tell us at like 8 o'clock in the morning, I suggest y'all me today.
Yep. See,
So,
I gave you a warning.
I don't think either one of us even replied that day. So give us
Didn't
some
talk
credit.
at all.
Give us some credit there.
Yeah.
Didn't
See?
say a word
Avoided
after
that. Avoided that one.
Like, okay, he's in a mood. We ain't going there today.
I talked later on that evening.
Something else I want to talk about too. I guess this really we're kind of getting down towards the end of our discussion here. This whole episode can just be centered around the Valleystar Credit Union 300. It's pretty much what we talked about in the beginning, anyways.
In layman's terms, centered around Landon
Mm-hmm.
Huffman.
Okay,
Now, Seth.
if Seth had a podcast
Seth.
this week, it would be
Seth.
like, well, I didn't come to the shop.
It'd be nothing but
I went to
posts.
work.
It'd be nothing
I
but
mowed
posts.
my yard. I built a post in front of my
told you,
yard.
I'm retired for the year.
I drank 12 Busch Lights. And I got my trailer ready to go hunting, but the bed's broke on the trailer, and now I got to fix it before Dad yells at me.
I mean, that's just true statements. I didn't
Oh,
drink
by the
12
way-
Busch Lights. I do have to fix the bed.
By the way, I ain't coming over to work on the car tonight either.
Yeah, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm glad you know that without me telling you.
Listen to this. So obviously, we had the big scandal at Hickory with the tech deal and
Yes,
the spindles.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. What did they? No, they didn't.
So they checked spindles.
What?
At Martinsville.
Were they able to
Guess how they checked them?
with a tape measure?
With a robot.
Exactly how they checked them at Hickory Motor Speedway when a certain set of spindles were deemed offset. Identical. Eye to eye in a spindle with a rod. Measure off the rod
Okay.
out to the edge of the spindle pin, and that's how you determine offset.
Okay.
That's exactly what.
And that's how they did it at Hickory.
That's exactly what tech guy at Hickory did.
So of the
But-
the three that they did that to,
Everything was fine,
two of them were good.
and one was wrong at Hickory.
Was questionable.
Well, one was wrong originally.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then the track says that they don't have the technology and the means to check it
No.
properly, so the decision is null, right?
So it's a rod. That's all it is. A rod. You
So-
just measure to the rod.
So apparently, NASCAR must not have the right technology either. It's just, it blows my mind that NASCAR wouldn't have the updated tech to be able to check
Well,
that.
I wonder if anybody does have the updated. If you have the updated tech, let us know about it.
NASCAR needs to call Hickory and talk to them because NASCAR did it wrong Saturday night.
Well, yeah.
Sunday night. They need to talk to.
You just take the wrong one home. You swap it for a good one, and then you tell them to come to the shop and check it out. Ain't that what happened?
I just thought that was pretty incredible for those of you that have kept up with everything. I hate to bring it back up and be a dead horse about it, or beat a dead horse.
Well, ain't
be a
no
dead
damn
horse
dead
about
horse
it.
yet.
I hate to be a dead horse about it. That's the wrong way to say that. But that's how it happened at Martinsville. NASCAR checked it exactly like Hickory Tech guy did after it was deemed questionable. So
that must be the.
just interesting. Just take that and take it for what it's worth. And yeah. We're getting down to the end of an episode like we always do, so we're going to review some reviews. But we're also going to talk about our weekend plans for this Saturday night. We will be in action at Tri-County Motor Speedway with our
Hudson,
High Rock
North
Vodka
Carolina.
number 75 Oldsmobile. 75 laps.
Are you taking Gilbert?
No, we're not taking
Taking
limited.
douche.
Because Rich is racing. I'm scared to death of running beside him again. No, Rich is running the limited race at Tri-County, so we're going to take late model and run 75-lap race. Should be a good car count. If you're in the area, come on out to Tri-County. Beautiful facility. We'll have merchandise for sale there, and it'll be a lot of fun. Hopefully, go get us another Tri-County trophy. Add that one to the shelf.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
Did you eat any hot dogs in Martinsville?
I did. I ate 4.
So they're as good as people say they are?
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
or is it overrated?
No, I like them.
No,
They're good.
So I cannot stand hot dogs,
Okay.
but I definitely eat the Martinsville hot dogs.
This is how I categorize a Martinsville hot dog. They're $2 for
Mm-hmm.
an all-the-way hot dog.
At a racetrack, a cup
I
racetrack.
think the color of them scare people, but when I go to the grocery store, I'm looking for that colored hot dog.
Well, yeah.
That's what my grandma used to buy and cook, and I loved them my whole life, so that's what I look for now. And they're hard to find.
So they are
They're
the
a
best way that
delicacy.
I can describe a Martinsville hot dog is for the price and the quality. You get a lot more quality for the price, but it is not a gourmet hot dog. Okay,
What the hell? I mean,
it ain't.
What hot
it
dog
ain't,
is gourmet?
I don't know, but it's not
the
like
ones in the fancy wrappers.
I don't know. It's not like if you paid $6 for this hot dog or $5 for it, you would be like not worth it at all. But for $2, you're like, damn, yeah. But it is a good hot dog. Like,
and it's very
they're
manageable.
a little sweet. Mm-hmm. They're kind of sweet, and the chili's good.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just a
the onions that
good
they use.
old school Carolina, Virginia, Southern hot dog is what it is. But I had 4 of them, and they were good.
I should have had you bring me some home.
Well, I don't know how good they'd be reheated.
They're not that good.
I mean, you got to have them all in the, like when they give you the wrappers, they're individually wrapped. You take them apart, they're sloppy, they're good.
That's what she said.
Anyways, yes. Yeah. Okay. We have a review.
Oh, we have just one new one?
Just one?
Well, we have, let's see.
I read them the other day.
That's cheating.
Well, I don't remember what
I
the hell
get
they
fussed
said.
at for pre-looking.
I don't know what the hell they said.
National Day, you
we have
can't
two. We
pre-look
have two
the
reviews.
reviews.
2 reviews.
We have 2 reviews to review.
2 reviews of review. All right.
This one's from Alex. Love watching YouTube videos. Question for the podcast. What are the top 3 tracks outside of the ones you've raced at that you would like to race? Second, what's your opinion on New England tracks like Stafford, Thompson, Monadnock, to name a few? Okay, I've already answered the first question about the tracks, so I'm not going to answer that.
That was 2 podcasts ago. Right?
Yeah, it was a couple podcasts ago.
I will say, my one and only career late model iRacing win, I believe, was at Thompson.
in a 500 strength of field.
I don't know what that means, but I won that sumbitch, and that's all that matters.
I forgot this set was on iRacing for a little while. So, I've been to Stafford. No, I've been to Thompson. I have not been to Stafford. I spotted a K&M Pro Series East race at Thompson.
For Alfredo?
Yep, for Anthony. And Thompson's a cool place. It was a long-ass haul up there, but we ran it the week after New Hampshire, so it was kind of like a 1-2.
And they have a little road course, too, don't they?
I don't know about that.
I think they do.
Well, we raced around the oval, so cannot confirm.
It's a multiplex.
But Thompson was cool. And Stafford, they've done a lot of renovations there. That place looks incredible.
Speaking of Stafford, they have been family-owned since the 70s.
That's probably why it's such a nice place.
Do you think, when do you think that they broke even and started making money? Like, when did it start just turning into profit? Because they have this money to put into the track now. How long do you think it'd take them?
I wonder if they got grants or something like that.
Well,
I
sure
don't know.
State money as well.
I don't know what it looks like for a racetrack to be profitable. I mean, we all know that if for a racetrack to succeed, it really needs someone to step in that doesn't need to use the racetrack for money.
So, I mean, it's...
But they may use Stafford as a multiplex or a multi-purpose entertainment facility. I don't know what necessarily happens at Stafford. All I know is they've put in...
I was just curious.
Yeah, I mean, that
would take the 70s, you think that maybe at some point they'd break even?
Instead of me making an uneducated guess, I feel like I'd have to do some research on that.
Put it in the comments.
Yeah, thank you for that review. And then the last one we're going to read is from Carl Davis Warren. Fun Conversations is the title. It says, always love tuning in each week for the honest insight on what's going on with the late model world. Have aspirations to promote a local track, and I value and agree with all of your assessments.
We got one for you to try.
On the state of these tracks. Love the poems, the smoke breaks, and the stories. So, Carl, we appreciate you, man. Thank you for the 5-star review. And
that's a great review. 5 stars.
Yes, we appreciate that. We're up to 111 now on Apple Podcasts, by the way. Let me see how many we're on Spotify. Also, if you haven't left us a review, now's the time to pull your phone out
and get it to us
and drop a review over on either of those platforms. 140 on Spotify.
Wow.
Pretty good. We have a 5-star average on both, so that's awesome. Thank you for everyone's support on that. But I believe that's going to do it for this episode. You guys got anything to add?
There was some other old guy on Facebook that don't like you very much. So I don't know what you do to the old folks, but they don't like your ass.
What did they say?
Glad the 22 didn't win.
Oh, I seen that guy. They're always guys with like trucks as profile pictures or something.
Or a horrible picture, a horrible selfie of themselves when they're looking down at the camera.
In a wife beater.
Yeah, You can see it in their hairy nose.
Yeah, in a wife beater and a ponytail.
That guy apparently was a Trevor Ward fan and apparently does not like you. So he would probably have a brain aneurysm if he knew that you were running Trevor's used body parts on your own late models.
Well, and...
Yeah, that is a good point. My cars have Trevor's bodies on them.
And there was another fella.
I did tell Landon, I texted him the other day, I said, you should have wrecked Trevor and then called him about buying used body parts.
There's another dude
supply and demand
that was upset that wanted to accuse the spotter of telling Landon to do something, which didn't even happen, and then wants to lecture Landon about what good racing really is, and he's lucky it didn't happen to him between us and the 12 car. And come to find out, he's a regular at Bowman Gray. I'm like, dude, you race at Bowman Gray. Sit down. Don't lecture us on good racing.
Yeah,
He
lost credibility when
100%.
when that came.
I
to the
did see a comment you replied to on Facebook that cracked me the hell up.
What?
Some individual said something about a lot of people would have ran you over or ran him over, and your reply was like, "Yeah, all the drivers at Bowman Gray."
Oh yeah,
yeah, because he's a
Gray.
fan that goes to Bowman Gray, and he loves to talk shit to me about it.
I guess they don't like that.
For the past 10 years.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I enjoy watching Bowman Gray when I go there and drink beer, but I'm not going to go race there with my own stuff. I had one guy comment on YouTube tell me that I was scared to go there.
It's not racing.
I'm not scared to go there. I'm just smart.
Well, I won't say. I think the modified division is as close to racing as you're going to get.
Yeah, but those are the guys that have
the rest
some
of that
knowledge.
Clown show is just that.
Circus.
We could go on a whole tangent podcast.
That's a whole episode.
We're not going to do that to end this one.
If we did a podcast series about everything that we hate,
God,
we would probably
we have content
we're talking
forever.
4-hour episodes, probably like 87 episodes.
We would piss some people off, no doubt.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of Huffman Racing Radio. I believe that's going to do it. Remember, head on out to Tri-County Motor Speedway this weekend and support Huffman Racing and our High Rock Vodka number 75 Oldsmobile. Also support Rich Hudson Racing in the White 8.
Will you be streaming this race on Twitch?
Reincarnation of the White Knight.
We got new wheels.
We're not comparing. That was a joke. I'm not comparing Rich to Dick Trickle.
That is a well. Who's?
I mean, his dick probably does trickle.
Well, but still, he was the
Are you
probably the most
insinuating that Rich has erectile dysfunction?
I don't insinuate nothing.
Where's this episode going? Turn it off. Turn it off.
Can you answer the
We're
question
done,
that I
bye.
asked? Are you streaming this race on Twitch?
Possibly. I might stream this race on my Twitch channel. That is if GMAT decides to show up this week.
GMAT.
It would be cool if I could
Promote
watch
it. Oh, yes. No, screw you.
How can you watch it out in the middle of the woods?
Yeah.
On Twitch. I just said that.
You need internet.
Seth's going hunting this weekend. He won't be there, but I've told this before. Seth, he's probably not going to hunt. He's going to watch this weekend.
What am I watching? I don't understand what that means.
You're going to sit in a
You
stand
don't
and
watch
watch.
your daddy do it.
You're not going to hunt.
Well, I'm not going to
shoot
sit
nothing.
and watch Dad in his stand.
You say, Daddy,
Okay,
one,
if
shoot
it's
you one.
big enough, I'm going to shoot it. Otherwise, yes, I'm going to watch.
How big was that one you killed last year?
Not very big.
Very young.
You know what? Look, I gave it a free pass. It walked toward me when I was ready to leave, so I shot it.
RJ thought that shit was funny. All right, thank you guys for listening. We will catch you in the next episode of Huffman Racing Radio.